Okay, this is the news for period 5. It's a bit dark. Yeah, this is your news for period 6. I will explain the news, give you some clue here what how you expect it to do a good planning. Obviously, since after the crisis, the market is back to normal. Market is very back to normal. As you can see now, there's a 10% growth in the market uh, compared to period 4. So which means it's 10% growth compared to your demand for period 4. So what you're supposed to do here is to go to your report for period 4. Obviously, if I go back here, I go to period 4 here. You go to your report for period 4. For example, you can now then check what was your demand there. Like usual, your demand is your potential sales. As you can see here, you go to this potential sales here, this figure here for period 4 report. Make sure you are using period 4 report and look at your potential for that period 4 and increase this figure by 10%. That will give you um, your demand for period 6 for your shop. Okay, only for your shop. Okay, that's good. um, so it's good news. Market is going up by 10%, but compared to period 4 demand, which means take potential sales for period 4 increase by 10%. Those, the saving school is back. As a wholesaler wants to buy from you 100 surfboards this time at this price of 380. So like I always say, this 100 is not part of, they are not coming from the shop, so you have to produce for them. So if your shop demand is maybe 200, it means then you have to produce 200 for your shop and plus 100 for the wholesaler. So it means in total you have to produce 300. But in case now you have a stock already in the shop now, maybe let's say 20, so and your demand is 200, so you have to produce only 180 for the shop because there's already the 20 plus 100 for the wholesaler, which means in total if you have 20 already in the shop and your demand is 200, so in total you are only going to produce 280 because you already have 20 available. So you have to be careful with that. I will go back here and demonstrate what I just explained. For example, now, let's say this is your period 5, and you have now to actually, your demand maybe is now 200, okay? But if you come to your report, maybe it says uh, you have maybe 50 already in stock from previous period in the shop. Okay, 50 in the shop. You could not sell those 50. So what you do now, you make sure here you sell to the wholesaler 385. How many they want? Actually, it's 100. They want at 385. Okay. The moment you do that, you can see the 100 is transferred already here. So now in your shop, your demand according to the 10% increase in period 4 report, we assume now your demand is 200. Okay, and we assume you already have 50. So what you do first, so what you do first, you just indicate there in my shop, I need to sell 200. Okay, that's your demand for the shop. But when you come to the production here, this section here, you must update to say I already have 50 from the previous period and my value cost per unit is 301. So where do you find these figures? In your report for period 5. So you now go to your report for period 5 and see how many units you have in the shop currently and at what value. So the figures are on page 2, should be the first or second table from the top. You just read the finished stock of finished products, then it has final stock, then you check there, you will get these figures. Now, we actually were supposed to produce 300 because that's what we need to make supply to our shop and to the wholesaler. We need in total 300. But because we already have 50 from previous period in the shop, which means of the 200 in the shop, we already have 50. So we will only make in total here 250. Okay. Amount produced in current period, we will just make 250. Why? Because we need 300 in total, but 50 are already at hand. So we only short of 250, which means what you are going to sell in the shop will be a combination of 150. 150 of these 250 will go to the shop so that they will add to the 50 that are already there. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, then obviously very good news here. You also have a payment ratio is going up. Payment rate it's another word for payment ratio. You know, it's under market. It went down to 70. Make sure you fix it. If you don't fix it, then you are in big trouble. You will be in red, because then you are saying customers are not paying cash. They just come and get credit. Make sure you increase this. It's currently 70. Make sure you increase to 85. The loan is still available. Like I said, only borrow if you need money. Okay, like for example, these guys, if I check, if I look at their liquidity here, I think last time did they borrow anything? I don't think so. I don't think they borrowed anything. If I check under finance, yeah, they borrowed actually 20. Okay, so if I remove 20, and if you have planned everything and you remove that 20, you can see they are still not in the red. I don't know why they borrowed in the. Oh, it's because I touched with the figures there. So if you see you are not in the red here after you have planned with everything and you are not in the red here, then it means you don't need to borrow money. So if you are maybe in red with a 2,000, you have to borrow about 4,500 to 5,000. Okay, and to borrow, you just go back there, subsidized loan. You don't have to go for the whole 20,000, because the statement says up to 20,000. You can either 2,000, whatever you are in red with, you can borrow until you are out of the red. And obviously, the hiring cost goes back. Those who fired their workers last time, maybe you have to pay now 2,500 to hire back those people. And obviously, those who have a lot of stock available, this is good news, because you might not have to hire extra people because you already have some goods. Cost for temporary worker rise to 20,000. Make sure when you come here under personnel, you change the to 20 here. If you don't, you will not get accurate figures. And obviously, there's a discount. Actually, not discount, but the costs are going up. Okay, but before I go to the costs, I think I'm missing something. Capacity per worker is now 90. Period 5, your workers could only make 70 per unit, per period, but now they are making 70 units 90 units per period. So you have to go to production and make sure you adjust the capacity per worker there under production here. Okay, make sure you do it there. And obviously, the prices are going up for fiber. Okay, but if you buy more than 300, the old prices are going to apply. Okay, which means if you buy less than 300, that period 2 news, that table in period 2 news still valid. So you now look at those prices. If you are now buying less than 300, you add €2 on each of the prices of fiberglass there. Okay, so but if you buy 300, the old prices will actually apply. Okay, the storage cost for finished goods also is increased because of the space demand in the market. That one should be under market. Like these guys, they were already messing up here. It was not 3, but it was 10. So, but now it's going up to 15. Okay. So that's the explanation of the news for period 5. Obviously, I hope you guys watch the video. It's only a few minutes there. And make sure you actually do the right thing to get good marks. Sharp.